another instalment of Before the Fight. A lot to talk about. We're wrapping Derby that was happening in Queensland December 4th, and we're looking towards the No Limit cards and the Jamie Meyer card that are wrapping out the year. My co-host, as always, Shotgun Shannon O'Connell. Shotgun, how are you?
I'm good, me and all my mates.
Just a quiet one on the cast today, just us. Obviously, Joel's still away, Chrissy McCullen unable to make it here today, and Adam Lovelock enjoying crocodile time in the Northern Territory. So we should get started and wrap the Queensland Derby, the Tasman Fighters fight card on Foxtel, Fortitude Music Hall, and we start out with Adam Copland and James Honey. My God, what a fight. James looking very competitive in the first round on debut as a kickboxing crossover, but Adam Copland showing class and a strong right hand.
Yeah, it's strong. I mean, I didn't see that fight because it wasn't televised, but it was just looked like a really effortless, straight, perfectly thrown right hand that just landed on the button.
It was timing, it was accuracy, it was pinpoint, just enough power on it, and right on the button, did the damage. Honey unable to get up, but falling backwards onto his leg, breaking his leg. One of those really horrific kind of falls in the sport, but obviously the damage was done. He didn't know where he was, and Copland back in the winner's circle.
Yeah, that was awesome.
From there, we moved to Taylor Robinson and Kylie Fulmer. Taylor showing that she stepped right up, put on a clinic really against Kylie. Kylie obviously not having the best camp, not having the best preparation, and Taylor taking full advantage.
Yeah, Taylor was given the opportunity to show her skills and I guess be more aggressive. I thought she boxed really well, and I think she really tried for the knockout, but it just wasn't there. Kylie's super tough.
From there, we saw Tavita Pangai Jr. on debut, obviously just before pre-season starts with the Canterbury Bulldogs. He looks strong, he looks sharp. Logan boxing definitely getting him ready.
Another one that's coming over from footy that looks like a boxer, so that was really good to see that.
Obviously crossing over with Mark Wilson and doing training with Justice before he left to America. Chrissy McCullen sat here and said that Tavita was a sponge, that he learned everything and improved the next day after learning it the night before. I thought that was very evident.
Yeah, for sure, and that's what you want to see in anyone that's coming over, and that you can't come to boxing and just think you know it all.
Look, obviously an A-grade athlete and looking for big things out of him for 2022.
For sure.
The rematch, Ben Kite, Andrew Hunt, the Australian and Australasian welterweight titles on the line. Very similar to the first fight, just an in-close war between both boys. Judges having it very close within 2 rounds each. What do you think? I
thought, to start off with, I thought Benny was in trouble, but he came back. So it obviously shows his peak conditioning. He came back and he got those later middle to later rounds, and so it was super close. It could have gone either way, but Andrew just showed his sharpness and that skill set that he's got. And I think the decision went the right way, but it was super close and a little bit heartbreaking to see for Benny because he does work so hard.
Absolutely. Look, Benny Kite's still got a lot to give back to the sport. He's chasing the fight, obviously, with Jack Brubaker. But how important for Andrew Hunt is it to actually have these tough rounds early into the career when he's had some, a lot of flashy success earlier? Got to be absolutely imperative.
Yeah, I think it's really good for him because he's got the skill. And anyone that's got the skill set that Andrew Hunt has, people are just going to try and walk them down. You're not going to really get anyone else in Australia that's going to try and walk you down as hard as Benny's going to walk you down.
Obviously, he's got all the chocolates. The welterweight division still reasonably stacked. Possibly an international opponent maybe next year. Hard to say, but everyone's going to be keeping their eyes on that division. The fight everybody's been talking about, another one that's been called that could be fight of the year, Miles Zalewski, Dana Cool. Well, what a display of boxing from both boys.
It was a great fight. I think Dana, obviously he was in control most of the time, but it was still a fight. Like Miles was in every round.
How important was that after the Jake Wiley fight for Dana Cool to come back and make a statement like he did?
Yeah, look, it was really important. I still believe that it was too soon to be in such a back-to-back hard fight, because it's not only the 19 rounds of boxing that he did getting hit with 8-ounce gloves, it's all the sparring and the back-to-back hard camps. I think that was a great fight, but possibly needed to happen a bit later, first fight next year. But it was massive comeback. Obviously, it would have been so good for his confidence and great for everybody to finish the year that way after having a loss.
Absolutely, and he looked mentally sharp. He very, very sharp. He put on an absolute clinic. He just seemed to be a step ahead of Miles, and obviously getting the big finish in the last round there with that left hook. Wow. Benny Harrington quick to jump in and make sure that the ref understood that that was the end of the fight. Miles was gone.
I think I read Miles did a post saying that he had the wrong game plan. He was not relying on his skill and just trying to be the muscle, and you could clearly see that. Props got to go to Miles for realising that as well, because a lot of people would come out of a fight like that and just looking for excuses, but he didn't.
Obviously the Scorpion, a great champion, a great fighter, and look, we're expecting more out of him. Definitely not the end of his career, but they do have to go back to the drawing board with him there at All-Star. You can't be going in just relying on one skill set against someone that's obviously a young, fresh, classy, sharp up-and-comer in Dana Coolwell.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fight, the heavyweights. Oh my gosh. Figa Apaloo Django versus Lucas Big Daddy Brown. What a fight for the WBA Oceania title. Did you expect that outcome?
Absolutely not. I guess you've kind of got to look at if it went later than 5 rounds, people did expect a similar outcome, I guess, but I think everyone thought that Django was going to get rid of him in the first 2 or 3.
It was just shock and awe, and Big Daddy Brown stretching out Django, which was just like so crazy for everyone to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's a massive size difference, and I guess it didn't. When you're that size, it doesn't really matter how fit you are. If you got someone that size leaning on you and hitting you, you're gonna feel it. I feel sorry for heavyweights, especially when you're a smaller size heavyweight.
Lucas Big Daddy Brown, very, very happy with the outcome, the WBA Oceania title. He told everyone it was going to happen. He's happy to fight here in Queensland on Tasman Fighters cards, and now he's put his hat back in the ring for international opponents.
Yeah, and I guess, getting knocked out by Gallen, it sort of gave him a bit of a wake-up call that he's got to take things a bit more serious. So maybe that was maybe a bad move for Django to jump in straight away to fight him, because he was more determined. So good on him.
He definitely looked very lean, Lucas Big Daddy Brown. And look, like I said, he had to believe in himself. We said that. And he came through, and what a finish. What a finish. Highlight reel for the year. From there, the co-main event, Jai Opetaia versus Daniel Russell. Daniel coming in on short notice, 10 days, hard to get a camp in. And look, the result was pretty much always going to be like that. Hats off to Daniel Russell, all the courage in the world. But Jai, just next level.
Yeah, I mean, taking that kind of fight with a full camp would have been a tough ask for Daniel, but taking it on 10 days' notice, I mean, good on him. Someone had to step in once Trent pulled out, but I from watching it, you could see he wasn't in there to try and be a hero. He did enough, and he went for as long as he could before he, I guess, realised he was about to get hurt.
And Jai, back in contention now, back in the gym, staring down Maris Bradis for next year. It's all international fights from him from here on in.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully they can bring that to Australia as well.
Isaac Hardman, Adam Stowe was the main event, the head splitter. He made a big call just beforehand saying that if he didn't get rid of him in 4 rounds, he's going to buy everyone a beer.
5 rounds. I think it was 5 rounds.
5 rounds in the first 5 rounds. My gosh, how close did that get?
Yeah. I think it was probably going, shit, what round are we at? Okay. No, Adam Stowe did really good. I guess people didn't really see that fight going past a couple of rounds. So, it was good while it lasted.
And like Isaac said, all credit goes to him for coming in and fighting the fight that he did. Usually at super welterweight, this one at middleweight. But Isaac, 4 belts carrying around him, all regionals, but really looking to light up the middleweights. He said it's Zarafa in April. After that, it's going to have to be international. Zarafa fighting on Monday the 20th. There's been a venue change because of a fire that broke out. And Zarafa, obviously, now, Hardman, if he gets through this fight, April next year. And look, that question finally gets answered.
Yeah, and I mean, it'll be good. There's obviously already a lot of talk and a lot of publicity about it. So I'm assuming that'll only just get bigger coming into the fight. So exciting.
So this week we're going to look at how to address that and make sure that you're constantly in a good position in relation to where your opponent is.
From there, we move internationally. Joe Parker has the rematch against Derek Chisora, Manchester Matchroom. They're going back to where the fight happened previously, May this year. Now, Joe back again. He's been in camp with Andy Lee. He's been in camp with Tyson Fury. We spoke to Joe Parker. He's very excited. This is what he had to say.
Joe Parker, Manchester, 18th of December. We run it back. Chisora too. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. This will probably be like the best camp I've been involved in. Just because of the environment, having longer time with Andy, and just working on things every day and putting in the work. Very hard work.
It looks like the most funnest camp I've ever seen you have as well.
Listen, it's fun. Like, we are having fun every day, but like in the sessions, I'm telling you, it's the hardest sessions I've ever done in my whole life. Like, it's no joke. Like, for example, there's a you know, we'll take Friday, for example. There's a thing that we do called F&Up Fridays, and it's 15 rounds of just different workouts, you know, punching the bag, like following someone else punching the bag, combinations, and you're punching the pad, and you got someone like walking you down into the ring, you're doing burpees, you're doing step-ups, push-ups. And it's like, I'm telling you, it's the hardest workout I've ever done in my whole life. But it's fun. Like, we have fun before, we have fun after, we have fun throughout the day, but when it's time to work, it's time to work.
Mate, it looks like, have you ever had this many people in camp before? I mean, Gypsy John, Tyson, David, like, it's a big crew, and you seem very tight. You're all together all the time.
Yeah, well, listen, we're training together every day, so we got a bond with, you know, as a group, right? And it's a great environment to be in because you have top fighters all preparing for big fights ahead, and we're all putting in the work. We're all pushing each other, and I've never been involved in a team like this before ever, you know. So that's what I'm saying. It's, for me, it's something new.
How are you feeling since last time we spoke? When you were in New Zealand, you were feeling pretty good. How are you feeling now?
I feel great. Like, we're going into the sparring phase. We have 3 weeks of sparring, then we have the week of the fight. So, like, everything's on track. You know, everything's on track for a good performance, or a better performance in the first fight. We train, we eat, we sleep, and I feel sorry for my wife. She has it harder. Like, with 3 kids, showering, bathing them, changing their clothes, feeding them every day, cleaning the house. Like, that's hard. Like, this stuff is easy. And because I've been practicing things in New Zealand, practicing it when I was on the road with my family, I started off a lot better when I linked up with Andy again. You know, and it's taken a lot of time to understand exactly what he's trying to teach me. You know, and because I've been practicing, I understand a lot more and a lot better.
You starting to find your own rhythm within that style now?
Yeah, finding my own rhythm. Did some good sparring yesterday and went very well.
You've got the time in with Andy. Look at the camp that you're having now. You must be fairly confident.
Oh, I'm always confident. Unless, like, I'm confident going into every fight. Anyone that I fight against, I'm confident. You know, I know what I can do. I didn't have the longest time the last camp, but this camp, there's no, you know, without longer time, it's going to be very beneficial for us. Working together a lot longer. And also, you know, Chisora's changed his management team. He's changed his trainer. But I don't think you can change him as a fighter. He's had this style for a long time. You can improve on his fitness and you can improve on a few things, but yeah, I'm confident in what we can do.
Mate, we're all very, very excited. We're going to get behind you and give you a big shout out. You know, we're all very keen for 18th of December. Joe Parker, I'm going to let everybody else have a talk to you, bro. It's always good talking to you, man. So good to see you. So good to see you happy, man. And all the best. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, bro. Good to see you.
Bro.
So there we have it, speaking to Joe Parker, getting the interview with DAZN. Love working with them at the moment. Parker, this is a great fight. The media lead up to it that Matchroom have done has been amazing. There's a little mini doco series on DAZN about him. This fight is a great fight. We'd love to see Joe get out there and then make his way back to possibly getting the WBO title. Look, training with Tyson Fury, Andy Lee, this is a great way to end 21 and a massive way to start 22.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, surely you can't train with people like Tyson Fury and not be bettering yourself. So,
well, as we could hear, Joe very excited about the way camp's been. He's leaner, he's faster, he's fitter. He's got a great team environment around him, and we're expecting really, really big things.
all my other professional fighters help out with classes, and it's not that I expect that, but they want to help out as well.
We're all very much across taking any service booking, and we can give you all the advice around that of when it should be, am I going too far over in kilometres, or we can organise it all for you. So we can organise the service booking, if you need a loan car, a drop-off, whatever it may be, we can assist there.
Ace Boxing Promotions, some really, really good fights.
Yeah, there was some great fights. I didn't go to either show. I was sitting at home watching one on TV and the other one on my phone. So it was pretty entertaining.
The girls' fights, some really top quality fights there. Jazzy Parr doing amazingly well. She got the Australian Super Flyweight title against Nicola Costello. Tough fight, debut, promising looking girl.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought she was really impressive. She didn't look like a Muay Thai fighter at all in the boxing ring. Like generally when they cross over, you can see the difference in their stance, their footwork, their lack of head movement. But to me, Jazzy looked like she was going to be a natural boxer.
It was really, really classy stuff. Brooke Psycho Cooper coming up against Amanda Klein, getting the win there too. She's looking like a great crossover. That's really coming into her own boxing form.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really good win for her as well. I'm not sure if that makes for a fight for Beck Hawker. I'm not sure, but I think those two together would make a good match.
Yeah, and from there, obviously, we're moving along. Lukey Woods getting all the chocolates against Tyson Best, getting the Australasian and Australian super welterweight title. Tough contest, but yeah, Woods too good on the night.
Yeah, and I think there was a few people that sort of picked it. Woods is that one that everyone underestimates, and I mean, hopefully people stop underestimating him from now.
Wow, didn't Tassie show up for him? All over his social media, very, very happy.
Yeah.
And look, he's such a likeable guy too. He was speaking to Tyson Best, and that's what he said to him. He said, mate, losing to him is one thing, but you can't hate him. He's such a likeable guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. From there was a call that there could have been Fight of the Year from Floyd Masson and Mark Bam Bam Flanagan. What a fight, an absolutely tremendous cruiserweight bout.
Yeah, for sure. That 100%, it's got to be up there in Fight of the Year. They both showed so much heart. Like it was good to watch.
It was amazing, and obviously with both guys too, like Floyd, moving up through the ranks. Bam Bam been there, done that internationally as well. But Bam Bam, a part-time fighter, he works full time. He trains late at night in a small little gym, TK Elite. It shows that he's still got a lot to offer in the sport.
I think it was probably really important for Floyd to win to show that he is climbing. It was good for Bam Bam to show that he's still here, but I don't know that he's going to be above Australian level now.
Our Gym of the Week this week was Matrix Boxing. We caught up with Stephen NG and the crew, and this is what they had to say. It's a great gym, Matrix. What keeps Stephen NG coming back through those doors day in, day out?
Oh, well, boxing in general, I love boxing. It's, I believe it's for everyone. It's not just, I don't get up every morning just to train elite fighters. Yes, I want to train a world champion, but that's not what drives me. Boxing is what drives me. It's giving it to the public. I've been lucky enough to build a good community here. We're a community gym. We're not a commercial gym. We're a club. People come here. It's their second home. People learn life lessons here. So someone who walks through the door is going to get the same time and respect from me that my top fighter gets, and my top fighter is going to give them the same time and respect they give me. My role is evolving a little bit now with the gym. I've got people like Coach Warren, who's now taken over the amateurs, helps me with the pros. I've got all my other professional fighters help out with classes, and it's not that I expect that, but they want to help out as well, and I do. That's how we run here. Everyone helps everyone. So we've got people in the game that are helping everyone else. So everyone's got access to everyone in this gym, and we all help each other to that next level, and that's why I get out of bed. So yeah, so it's a little bit funny at the moment actually, seeing my own role change in the gym, but it's great. It's great that the other coaches here are perpetrating the community that I started a long time ago.
I'm feeling very comfortable here now. Me and the boys have got a great relationship. We all push each other hard. Like the other day on Monday, I was feeling a bit sloppy. You know, I was gonna have another bit of a rest day, and the boys got my ear like, "Come on, mate, pick it up. I can get into it." So me and Tyson got in there. We had a good session, and then, yeah, so it's always good. You know, got that good bond with the boys here, and we all push each other and expect the best out of each other.
What makes Matrix so special?
I believe it's the culture. You know, I moved down here, and at the time it was just sort of me and Jacob. We're working along together. Got 7-0, 8-0 together. Won our state titles and Australian titles on the exact same night. You know, we had that really good rapport with each other. And then when Dempsey came along, it was just another. You know, he's just another mate. Like, you know, we're all just blokes here, and we show up, we train hard, and we know what we got to do when we walk through those doors. And overlooking it all, you got, you know, Stephen, great boxing mind, but he just knows how to manage people as well. You know, just builds not only good boxers, but, you know, good men as well.
Yeah, that's it. We're just a team. We're a family here. Yeah, we're all like bros here. We all train together. We do sprints in the morning. We do strength and conditioning together. Yeah, we're all the boys, so we train and we push each other up to a higher level every day.
The captain at the helm, Stephen NG, Dad, how important is it to have him here running the ship day in, day out?
Yeah, it's the best. That's why we all gone so good as we are. We have strong leadership there. He makes us do everything the right way. It's the right way or the highway pretty much, and yeah, we follow his lead and listen to what he has to say, follow his instructions, and we're seeing the results because of it.
We're looking at a big fight against Billy Dibb for next year. All eyes are on that shoulder and on you coming back.
Yeah, that's it. All eyes always on me at the moment, I think. Anyway, everyone wants a piece of the flamingo. I'm in my divisions anyway. So yeah, I got this big fight against Billy Dibb, so I can't wait for it. The shoulder's good to go. Set for surgery. I'm putting in the hard yards and ready to rumble come fight night.
Warren, coach of the amateur program, Matrix Gym.
It's good. I don't know. I like it. I enjoy it. I used to fight. Now I do something after fighting, I guess. Came back to fighting after 2 years off. Didn't turn out to be really good for me anymore. I didn't have it anymore, so I took on coaching. Steve got me helping out the novices and then into the comp class. Now I do it full time. I like it. Like any coach would say, just watching people grow. Seeing them how they start from scratch and then building them up to something they might win a title one day.
Yeah, it's got a great culture. It's very family orientated and everyone feels part of the team here. When you're sparring, you've got people who are always encouraging you to be better, be your best, and push those limits that you set yourself. So it's good. It's somewhere you can always be better the next day.
Speaking of Jacob, the Flamingo, Billy Dibb, big fight. How's that shoulder? How do you expect him to bounce back?
Oh, it's a massive fight. I mean, a lot of respect to Billy Dibb too. He's been around a long, long time, two-time world champion. And the boys sparred a couple of rounds a few years back as well, which was a bit of a laugh at the time. It's, you know, it's a big fight for Jacob. To be honest, it's probably a bigger fight for Billy Dibb. Jacob number 5 in the world now, so if a former two-time world champion can beat a current rated number 5, he's going to get another title shot. You know, they're going to give him another title shot, another big payday. So it's realistically the best fight for Billy Dibb in this country. It's the only fight that's going to get him back on the world scene, to be honest. So it's a massive fight for Billy Dibb, which means it's a massive fight for us, because Billy Dibb's going to be coming in prepared and hungry, and it's his last shot. You know, so we're going to have to be as equally prepared, which we will be. And yeah, to have a two-time world champion on your resume as well will do big things for Jacob.
And there we have it. Look, Jacob NG, another one that had a shoulder injury this year and an operation. Big fight for him. Billy Dibb next year.
Yeah, I think it's a great fight for him. You know, because again, so I guess similar to Bam Bam and Floyd, Billy's still trying to prove himself and Jacob NG's trying to take the next step. So it's an important fight for him to win, but also Billy's still trying to say, hey guys, I'm here.
We haven't had this segment for a while, but we've got Iron Sharpens Iron, and this time we've got it with Ben Savva.
Hey guys, and welcome to this week's Iron Sharpens Iron. My name's Ben Savva, and this week we're going to be talking about position. Now, the first thing that probably comes to your mind when we talk about position is your ring position in relation to where your opponent is with regards to cutting the ring off. But that's not what I'm talking about. This week what I'm talking about is your position in relation to your opponent so that you can constantly defend and attack no matter where your opponent is. Common mistakes that boxers make when they're shadow boxing in particular is they'll randomly just do a pivot. Well, there's no way your opponent has moved from here to here in that time. We need to make sure that we take our feet with us so that we can continue attacking and defending while we've got balance. So this week we're going to look at how to address that and make sure that you're constantly in a good position in relation to where your opponent is. You'll notice that when a lot of boxers shadow box, they're not really paying attention to their position, as we were just talking about. So one of the best ways to give your boxer a reference for where they are is to put a pad down and explain to them that that is their opponent, and they need to make sure that their feet are in a good organised position in relation to their opponent. So suddenly these random pivots make no sense. So a good way to get your boxer to think more about their boxing position is to get them shaped up in front of a pad and using that as a reference to where their opponent would be in relation to their boxing stance. Right then guys, once you've done the shadow boxing, the next thing you can do is practice this on the pads. I've got professional boxer and one of Australia's top prospects, Viviana Ruiz, with me today. She's going to help you go through the pad work. We're going to go jab, cross, left hook. I'm going to throw a shot back, Viviana's going to slip and shift. See how she's ended up in the perfect position in relation to me, and then I'm going to turn quickly, and to see whether she's nice and balanced, I'm going to make her throw a 1-2 and see whether that feels comfortable and the shots are good. If she's unable to throw them punches correctly, we know she's either gone too far or not far enough. So let's go again, full speed. Ba, 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 bom, 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 bom. Nice, good. And again. Ba, ba, bom, 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 bom. Good. Occasionally you can test your boxer to see whether they're balanced by giving them a little punch and making sure they can stay stable. That's how you do it with the pad work, guys. The progression from that, guys, is to move on to doing it within sparring drills with a partner. For example, we could do exactly the same drill as we just did, where we're practicing one person's going to throw jab, cross, left hook, boom, boom. They're going to slip and shift and make sure they end up in a good position in relation to you. For example, once they've got their partner on the rope during sparring, they would practice taking the angle. From there, now Viviana's in a great position to back me up to the ropes and get me in the corner. This is why it's important to hold your shape when you're taking angles on your opponent. Remember guys, whether you're shadow boxing by yourself, you're doing the pad work, or you're sparring, make sure that you're always in a good position in relation to where your opponent is, whether you're doing check hooks, slip and shifts, or simply moving around, basic footwork, making sure that you're balanced enough and in a good enough position to throw punches and defend yourself correctly at all times. Thanks for watching.
Joe Goodall. Justice is now going over to the States for his training camp. He's in with Justin Fortune. How important is it for him to be refreshed and tested and taken into these international camps?
Oh, I think it's really important. You know, Justice he's sparred everyone in Australia, and he doesn't really have super hard rounds. He needs someone to be able to test him, and Justin Fortune, he'll be perfect for Justice at the moment. I think it's a great move for them to go over there.
Justin saying that he's really trying to impart boxing knowledge and get Justice to sit down on his punches a bit more.
Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed when I watched one of the clips that they put up, that Justin had him sitting on his punches, and I was like, perfect. That's exactly what he needs.
So 4 weeks for Justice over there. That's got to be a great setup and prep for Joe Goodall. Look, No Limits show has been moved to the 21st and the 22nd of December. Josh Aloiai out, Darcy Lussick in. Gallen very upset that he had to do 8 2-minute rounds against Josh Alloway. Now doing 3 2-minute rounds against Darcy Lussick. Darcy's a big boy. We can see here at the face-off that there is a massive size difference, a lot younger. This has now become very dangerous for Gallen.
Yeah, it has. I mean, 3 2-minute rounds, I feel like that's dangerous for anyone because they're both going to come out. It's 6 minutes of boxing. They're going to go as hard as they can, and that you can walk into punches that way. Justin
Hodges getting stretched out by Darcy Lussick. Yeah, he's definitely got power in that right hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Justin Hodges was, he's been around boxing for a long time as well. So that was a big upset in that fight. So hopefully there's not another one for Paul Gallen.
He's definitely going to have to be on his mark. We all know he's got a big engine and can do the 10 rounds, but 3 2-minute rounds, this is going to be very, very fast-paced.
I think that's going to suit Darcy Lussick a lot better than it is Paul Gallen. Paul Gallen needs to go over the rounds.
So there we have it, no limit. Obviously Sam Goodman, Harry Garside, Andrew Maloney, Benny Hussein, Cohen Mazzudia. There's going to be some cracking fights there, and we'll break all those down on next week's episode. But a great card, a double header. Will it come off? We hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting, only a few days before Christmas too.
Friday the 17th of December, Jamie Myers has got a great little local show on. Josh Fredrickson returning to the ring. Kato Falafihi, the gatekeeper, versus Jamie Porter. We've got Liam Callanan, now 13-0 as a cruiserweight, also fighting on there. So that'll be a great little show at the Croatian Club. Some good little names there.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that Jamie's still putting on those smaller shows that are, just keeping his local fighters happy and there's not really any ego going on in his promotions.
Mate, it's great. It's always a great night out there at the Croatian Club. He's also got a couple of great little signings. Ben Cameron Hands. Look out for him in 22.
Yeah, for sure. He was a gun amateur as well. So I've always sort of kept my eye on him as a pro because he'll do great things.
Also signing Kieran Whitehead, another great amateur. Big hitter. The kid looks like he's got a great pro style.
Yeah, for sure. They're both good amateurs and they'll both turn into good pros.
CamaKO Carpool, a great segment. It's back. And who better to start off with? Chris Walker.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, it's all good. We're off. How we got there? We got there. I don't know how long this is going to last. We're there.
So when did you have your boxing fight? When was that?
2 years ago. So I was down training. I started, the person who really got me into it was Mick Katsidas, obviously, lefty. Mick was Mick, and because I grew up with Mick in Toowoomba.
Yeah.
I went to school with him. Yeah, when we were playing football, you'd jump in the ring, and boxing was a large part of your fitness.
Same as AFL, they all do boxing.
They all do it. But yeah, I had my first fight 2 years ago. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Down there training, started training with Mick. Yeah, Mick was really good. He taught me the fundamentals of boxing, how to hold your hands, how to stand.
He was retired by then, yeah?
He was retired. Yeah. The career that he had, was outstanding. Then I started training with Angelo Hyder. I got introduced to him through Dean Morrison, a pro surfer who loves his boxing also, who I introduced to Mick Katsidas. And mate, it's a really good sport.
So why did you do the Find My Challenge? What got you into it?
Mate, well, how it all worked out. We were my business partner at the time, and he still is my business partner. We were building apps for people, and we were sitting there like everyone in Australia, everyone in the world. 2 years ago, the fires hit, and we saw Celeste Barber. Now, what Celeste Barber did for those fires was amazing.
Oh yeah.
She raised $53 million for what she thought was going to go to the communities that lost their houses. Yeah, we wanted to change the game at Fund My Challenge. There's 58,000 DGR registered charities in Australia, and not all of them do what they say they're going to do or spend the money on what they're saying they're spending the money on.
Well, people thought it was going towards the homeowners who lost all their homes and that.
That's right.
And none of them got it.
None of them got it. So, and poor old Celeste, she got dragged over the coals for that. But that's why Fund My Challenge was born. Because we saw, the money wasn't going to where it was going. So we engage charities that do the right thing. We want them on our platform because they spend the money on what they're saying it. And on our platform, if we engage a charity and we give them, say, $100,000.
Yeah.
They've got to spend that $100,000 within 12 months, and they can't keep it for future events. You know, obviously every charity has their administration costs, but some of the charities, 95% of it goes to administration costs.
Yeah.
You know, money actually doesn't go to where it goes. So, and the thing is, it's not calling out the bad ones, but the ones that are on our platform, they're the ones that are doing really well.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are helping people, and the money's actually going to where it goes to. So that's why Fund My Challenge was born. And donors, when they go out there and they donate their money to a charity, when they come onto our platform, they have the confidence that we've vetted the charities, and they actually know where their money's going.
So, was it a 60-day walk? Or how
71 days, mate. 71. We had 71 days on the road, mate. Walk from Cairns to.
You were walking, you were running, people were joining you.
Yeah, it was good. It was Joel. It was, if someone had said to me a year ago, if you walk from Cairns to Gold Coast, you're going to be the happiest person on the planet.
Yeah.
I would have told them, you're talking nonsense.
Yeah.
To be brutally honest with you, to walk from Cairns to Gold Coast, apart from the blisters, the chafe, the soreness, the sciatic nerves, the pain, everything that went on, it was the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah? What made it happy? Like, I seen all the people coming past, like even like old people putting money out the window and that, like, you know what I mean?
That's right, just the engagement, just, you know, walking down, and probably the main thing why I enjoyed it so much was I disengaged from what everyone's going through at the moment, which is COVID, and that was a large reason why I did it. And you know, the organisations that I did it for, Beyond Blue, they'd seen a massive increase in, you know, calls into Beyond Blue about people's mental health.
Yeah,
they need support. They're a big organisation, but they still need support. Rise Up, which Nicole and their gang at Rise Up is a domestic violence charity. Now they've seen an increase. Obviously, with the pressures, you know, people losing their jobs and, you know, turning to drugs and alcohol, which Alcohol and Drug Foundation was another beneficiary. You know, those beneficiaries that I chose had all seen increases over COVID.
You went through like some random towns and suburbs like you would have never seen in your life or heard of. Like.
Yep. I've seen Queensland in a way that not many, well, only a handful of people have ever seen.
Did you want to give up, man? Like, I can't even, you know, man. I fought 10 rounds, but I've never walked for 70 days, man. That's the next level.
Mate, Joel, the hardest part of my day, this is no joke, the hardest part of my day was the first 2 minutes I opened up my eyes.
Yeah?
The first 2 minutes was the hardest because I knew that, right, I've got to get going, I've got this, I've got to get going, I've got to do this, I can't stop.
Yeah.
There's people relying on me, there's people watching this, there's people, I had people reaching out to me all the time going, listen, mate, what you're doing is unbelievable. It was awesome. It was really good.
Boxing and a pro athlete is just a different lifestyle, man.
Yeah,
you need to understand it.
Yeah, it is, and it is fun. You get to do some pretty crazy things, and I've done some pretty cool things in my life because of football, and it's taken me all around the world. I lived in France and you know, played in England and.
Did you play in France for a bit, or?
Yeah, played for the Catalan Dragons, lived in France, and then we played in England in the Super League. So, yeah, I've done some pretty cool things, and I've lived a life of, you know, I've lived a pretty good life. So I'm certainly not complaining.
I don't realize how far we went from your place.
I know.
I'm turning back now. I'm like, far out.
I was like, we driving to Brisbane.
So there we have it, wrapping of the local Queensland derby. Tasman fighters, Ace Boxing, looking towards Chisora and Parker, Bruno Tarimo, looking towards No Limit again towards the end of the year. Jamie Myers fight card happening on the 17th. Boxing is alive and well in Queensland and in Australia, and it looks like the year's going to get wrapped up nicely.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's starting off with a bang too with the DNL card.
Goodall versus Hooney. We can't wait for that. I'm Rob Shife, this is Shotgun Shannon O'Connell, and you're watching Before the Fight.